Thank you, Nitinji, for bringing up the status of traditional societies all over the world. Our next speaker is Dr. Vedika Mati ji. Dr. Vedika ji is a Mauritian national, completed her higher education in Bharat. She is committed to promoting Bharatiya philosophy and Indological studies in Mauritius and Africa through teaching and learning, collaborative research and outreach programs. She is an associate professor and head of the Department of Philosophy of the Mahatma Gandhi Institute, the apex higher education institution in the region promoting Bharatiya culture and tradition, languages and education as a tribute to the Mahatma Gandhi. Apart from academic endeavors, she is engaged at the socio-cultural level in popularizing Bharatiya ethos and various values for cultural sustenance among the Indo-Mauritians and for the betterment of Mauritian community in general. Dr. Vedika ji. Her topic today is how are Hindus portrayed in Mauritian and East African textbooks? Who are influencing such portrayal?
Thank you, Manuji. Namaste to everyone. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Professor Nachiketa ji for giving me this opportunity. The topic of my discussion today is influences on portrayal of Hindus in Mauritian and East African textbook. I shall be focusing mainly on the Mauritian experiments as far as the content and the syllabus is concerned. Thank you. So as you can see on your right, it is the map of Mauritius. Mauritius, if you see on the left on the global map, it is represented as a very small dot situated in the Indian Ocean and off the East African coast. It has a very strategic position. Is it okay now? Yes, I'm saying that it has a very strategic position, being in the African region and also very close to the Francophone, French-speaking countries like Reunion and Seychelles. And for these reasons, it is positioning itself as a knowledge hub. Allow me to give you a brief overview of the Hindu diaspora in Mauritius and East Africa. Next slide, please. Next. Maybe next one. We'll skip some of the... Okay. It's okay. I'll manage from here. Yes.
You can use that so that if you want to turn.
Sure. Yes. So a brief overview of the Hindu diaspora in Mauritius and East Africa. In Mauritius, Hindus make up about 48.5%. According to the last census carried out in 2011, that was the record, and we can already note that there is a decline in the demography. We have the first wave of indentured laborers coming to Mauritius in the year 1835. Like Fiji, Trinidad, and Tobago, Mauritius also shares a Girmitia history. Initially, Mauritius was inhabited and was discovered by the Portuguese. Later on, it was colonized by the French. After the French were defeated by the Britishers, Mauritius got its independence in 1968. So this is the history about the colonization in Mauritius. I'd like to add that Mauritius has now diversified from a monocrop economy to financial services. Tourism is main. As such, Mauritius is celebrated as for its natural beauty, cultural diversity, and booming economy. Thirdly, next point would be that Mauritius plays the Mauritian and play a very important role in the socio-cultural development and economic development of the country. You're able to find out this slide on the East Africa? Yes. As far as East Africa is concerned, there the Hindu population is about 1%, and we have traders arrived in East Africa in the 1st century AD. We had the first wave of immigrants in around the early 19th century. The immigrants over there made significant contribution to the African economy that is in the trade sector. Now, the question arises as to why it is important to examine the influences of the portrayal of Hindu Dharma. Is it at all important? When we are drafting a syllabus, curriculum, there are many things that we are considering. The aims, the objectives, the pedagogical approaches, the methodologies of teaching. And along with it, what is important as well is the content. And especially in a country that has a colonized history, this is very important. Therefore, there are a few reasons that I would highlight as to why examining the influences of portrayals of Hindus and Hindu Dharma in the syllabus is very imperative. So first of all, the reason is for accuracy and fairness. Hailing from a colonized history, we have the scope of being jeopardized. We have also noted the misinterpretation that exists in some of the syllabus. Let me tell you that Hindu Dharma is taught in subjects like, especially in languages such as Hindi, Telugu, Marathi, and a subject called Hinduism. Yesterday, Professor Nachiketa spoke about the declaration where he cleared the terms, the terminologies of Hindu Dharma, Hinduism, and Hindutva. And that is one of the takeaways that I'm bringing to Mauritius because we have a subject over there called Hinduism. Students from aged 13 to, students of the secondary school aged 13 to 18 are studying this subject. And since the board of this examination is from Cambridge, we already note that the perspectives given in there, approaches adopted in there are Eurocentric. So this would be one thing that we shall be addressing in Mauritius. Probably we will need the help of WHC for the execution. So to avoid misinterpretation, for instance, the deities in the syllabus are represented as vindicative and cruel. The Hindu rituals are represented as barbaric and meaningless. Now, this has a very negative impact on our youth, and therefore this has to be addressed. What we are also proposing, thinking, is that instead of the reference books or the textbooks, instead of having authors who have a Eurocentric perspective, they have to be written, drafted by natives. People who have less understanding of the content should not be allowed to form panel in the curriculum development. Secondly, we have the importance of promoting cultural heritage. As a fourth generation Hindu Mauritian, it is very important to preserve our cultural identity because that gives us a sense of belonging, a sense of solidarity, and a sense of oneness. Anchored to one's root is very important to prosper higher, be it in the social field, educational field, or economic field. At the same time, it allows us and empowers us to strengthen and to rather transmit the cultural heritage to the younger generation. Thirdly, we have Mauritius is a multicultural country, democratic country, multilingual and multi-religious. Therefore, the element of interculturality has to be respected. And since we're speaking about education, Mauritius has an education act which is secular. So part of the responsibility which the government has is being catered for, but there is scope for other entries as well, which I'll be discussing in a moment. Therefore, then I would add the next element, empowering the Hindu community. Mauritius, it is very important for a small country like Mauritius to empower the Hindus over there. I would say कि वहाँ पर हमारा मॉरिशस के जन्मभूमि में प्रोफेसर वासुदेव सुंदरयाल जैसे पुत्र का जन्म हुआ, जिन्होंने मॉरिशस में जन आंदोलन किया. That is, he became a Hindu missionary of that time, 19th century, mid-19th century. And he became a pracharak. He went on preaching, teaching the ethos of Vedas and Upanishads. The cleavage between the Mauritian Sanatanis and the Mauritian Arya Samajis was deepening, and he was the one to bring them under the same umbrella. It is his legacy that we in Hindu Mauritians are living today, and we also got the right for this. Thank you. Coming to the, I'll conclude, coming to the efforts, I have 1 minute, yes. So what are the efforts that are required now? As I mentioned, since we talk about content development, textbook, curriculum, etc., it is guided by a policy, government educational policy. So as far as formal education is concerned, we don't have much leeway. But we have to promote our culture, our ethos, and values. And for that matter, formal and informal training is being given. I seize this opportunity to invite institutions, organizations who would be interested in setting up or coming up with ideas like MOAs and MOUs with the existing institutions like the Mahatma Gandhi Institute in Mauritius, who is an apex institution promoting Indian culture, Indian values, and Indian languages, so that we can reach out to all sectors, especially the youth. And that would be all from my side. Thank you so much.